Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Views
Good
and
morning.
views live on the scene. True man, false world, reporting live, Jeremy So True here. We got Jay Queasy.
Hey,
Everybody in the club get tipsy.
long time no see. Really. So don't do
Chicken
that.
head,
Don't do
chicken
that.
head, walk, walk.
Don't do that.
Um,
Hmm.
Don't do
and
that.
and we got the first lady in the background.
Yes, good morning.
Um, we got a live show for you. We may have some people stop by. They always, send and stop by the 22 lab when it come down to it. But as you know, we are here. We are here. We are here. Week 9. Took a couple weeks. Well, we didn't take a couple weeks off. I had a couple weeks off. They were prepared. I wasn't. But it's life is changing, and we've upgraded some things. We back. Uh, it's on now. Let's go. That being said, and man, I'm excited. We got a big slate of games. Now we are in the time of the year where teams are figuring out who they are. um, be it injury, people coming back from the pup list, things like that. I mean, some players that started the season on the pup list, and some players that started the season in different places, new faces, different places, all that good stuff. But most importantly, just the rhythm of the season. So now we are in the prime time part of the season where it all matters. Every game from this point forward, it matters. Why? Because if you're going to be a playoff team, you got to start winning now. Not start as in you got to just start winning it right now, as in you got to start cherishing every win and make sure every win counts going toward the postseason. We got resident Steelers fans here today.
Yes,
They
sir.
have a lot of things that they can talk about. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not going to talk about them this week.
Yeah, we sleep.
Yeah, we chilling
So
this week.
take that hat off, Jaquan, because you're not even playing this week. Anyway,
I do this
with that
every
being
day. Every day. In Baltimore and Atlanta, every day.
but let's start with some news around the league, and then we'll get into some injury reports, and most importantly, then we'll start getting into some games.
Oh, wait. Headlines this week. Um, we have the Colts situation. Anthony Richardson has been benched for, I was going to call him what I normally call him, Joe Flacco. Um, I guess they feel, Anthony Richardson is not performing up to par. I didn't think he was very good anyway, but here we are. They take on the Vikings today. Then
Mm.
we have Pacheco is targeting late November return from IR. Um, Thomas Jr. From the Jaguars is likely to play today versus the Eagles. Zeke Elliott is not even traveling here to Atlanta for the game for disciplinary reasons. He has been, I don't want to call it benched, I don't know, sat down, whatever, um, for those reasons. I don't know what the disciplinary reasons are, but they take on the Falcons today here in Atlanta, and I think they're gonna lose. We'll talk about that later. Um, those are the main stories. As far as injuries, it's a whole bunch. Buffalo is down two receivers. Curtis Samuels is well, he's active, but he's injured. Amari Cooper is not playing. Ooh. Adam Thielen, of course, is out with a hamstring. Zach Moss from Cincinnati is showing is out. T. Higgins is out. Well, he's inactive. We know about Zeke. Oh, just list is long. Um, Drake Man. Oh man, May. Oh. He is active, but he is he's injured for concussion. Um, Jamal Williams from New Orleans is inactive. Bubba Means from New Orleans is out on IR. Cedric Wilson Jr. has a hip injury from New Orleans, but he is active. Tyler Boyd is questionable for Tennessee. And Brian Robinson is out today with a hamstring injury.
So, with all those things being said, biggest thing for today is Brian Robinson for the Commanders. He will be out today. So that means we got the muscle hamster. He will be available. He will be active. He will be a big part of what they do today. I'm not going to lie to you when I tell you this is going to be a lot of very, very fun football today because the Washington Commanders have an opportunity in front of them to solidify themselves a place in the playoff picture in the NFC. And we didn't think that they would be here as guys who could be competing in January. Now, why is this a relevant game? Because they're playing against a division foe that hasn't played very bad. It's just their quarterback is not consistent in the New York Football Giants. And it just is what it is when it comes to the Giants. But let's make one thing clear. Commanders are 6-2 currently. You win this game today, you go to 7-2. 7-2 is right on par with the fact that the Lions play their division rival today, who is the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are also 6-2, and the Lions are 6-1. That gives you the ability to be in the running for the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. Anything that you guys want to add to that?
No, I'm just trying to figure out who the thought.
I don't know.
Like that. Because I was like, boy, they might not win the game, and then they shut me all the way up. They said, boy, shut up. That's okay.
Well, the part of this team that has performed this year that we didn't think would perform is the offensive line.
Yeah, them too. They have been trash the last few years.
They have been much better than advertised. They've been better than the teams with the name brand players. You know, so we're looking at a team here in Washington right now, currently that controls its own destiny to get to January, and it all starts with the quarterback. Young Jaden Daniels has done enough to put his team in a position to where they are playoff contenders in his first year in the league. Now, what do we like about Jaden Daniels? I think that he's played pretty well in under pressure situations. He's played pretty well when it comes to getting rid of the football. The hardest thing for young quarterbacks to do in the NFL is get rid of the football. Digest what they gave you and get rid of the football. He's done a very good job of that. So when it comes down to it, what more do we need to see from this team? They are one of the worst defenses in the league. They are. Situational stops is going to be key. However, if you're going to score and be top 3 in offense, that does solve a lot of problems.
Yep.
They're averaging 30 points a game. Don't know what else to say. Shout out to the Commanders on a season that we didn't see, but hey, shout out to them. No beef. No Lombardi. Shouts out to the views, guys, for the original content. No beef, no Lombardi. So with that being said, we have also today a featured matchup for the day as well will be we got the 5-3 Atlanta Falcons hosting the 3-4 Dallas Cowboys. Why is this game relevant? Because Dallas is still relevant. Their best football could be behind them or could be in front of them. They're going to get more healthy. They're going to build more continuity. Dak, I'm sorry, bro. You got a lot on your shoulders with that new contract.
That's low.
This is what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with some fantasy things before we dive into any more games or dive into any predictions for the week or anything else like that. I had to give a shout out to the Commanders, and I wanted to highlight that Falcons and Cowboys game for everybody because we're going to come to that game first after some fantasy updates.
Mm.
I'm going to let y'all know right now. I'm going to start with that game right now for fantasy because we should get some scores today from that game.
Oh yeah.
CeeDee Lamb
Mm-hmm.
we should put CeeDee Lamb down for a touchdown. Mr. Lamb Chop should be in full effect.
Mr. Lamb Chop.
Yes, Mr. Lamb Chops.
Mm.
Also, I'm not a big fan of them, but I mean, you got to kind of put them on your parlays. Uh,
Bijan.
huh?
Bijan.
Yes. Bijan Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Algier will be in play for a touchdown as well today because I will just say it. I just think that the Falcons are one of those teams that Kurt will run the ball.
Yeah, he will.
And they already have a game this year where both of those players had 95 plus yards and a touchdown or two apiece. So don't be surprised if you see that more. The Falcons and the Lions, I want to say this to y'all. The Falcons and the Lions, to me, are the two most dangerous teams to
Absolutely.
teams like Kansas City
Mm-hmm.
because they will actually run the football. They have multiple running backs to run the football with, and then multiple running backs that can do damage out of the backfield via catching the football.
And Atlanta already took Kansas City to the wire.
And
Well,
they did.
probably should have won that game in real
And
life.
the
They should
Lions
have. They
already
probably
did.
should have won that game.
And the Lions beat Kansas City last year.
Yep.
So I like some of the fantasy things. Kyle Pitts, Jason Pitts' illegitimate nephew. I
Oh.
need y'all to understand his fantasy value is probably starting to skyrocket now because now they've figured out how they can utilize him and Drake London, those big guys, especially with them having McLeod and Mooney on the outside, the smaller, quicker guys. That combination is going to be very, very big for this team.
Yep.
Why it's going to be big for this team is because Pitts and London give you those two legit 6'5" targets that are going to be jump ball threats, high targets in the back of the end zone, perfect guys for Kurt. But what makes Mooney and McLeod so good is because they're starting to use those guys vertically and use the big guys in the inside of the field.
Yep.
And now what you're starting to see, what you start seeing in the first four games was them do the complete opposite, right? Using the big
Mm-hmm.
guys in the seams and everything else. Now they're starting to use those big guys a little bit more in the middle of the field and in shorter situations. And it's actually turned the offense and made it even more dangerous. Because now the outside guys are the guys that are a little bit faster, a little quicker, a little bit better in space. And it's just giving them a whole nother perspective and a whole nother projection on offense. So, Jaquan, as we talk about things like that for fantasy purposes, how do you feel about Kyle Pitts this week at four for the starting purposes?
Um, he should definitely get a touchdown today.
Mm-hmm.
And probably some yards because I don't see no one on the Cowboys able to stick with him. They're not their linebackers aren't fast. They're to stop the run, not to cover nobody.
Tanya, do you have anybody from this game that you want to highlight for a fantasy update or anything like that for either team?
Um, I would not be surprised if Mooney has a big game today. I
Darnell.
don't know why, huh?
I said Darnell.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know why he popped into my head, but I don't know. I feel like he would actually Probably, especially because what's his name is hurt. Trayvon Diggs is hurt. So I really feel like Mooney could have a big game today.
We should get some fireworks in this game. I'm hoping we get
Hmm
a
What
I'm
I
hoping
will
we get a
say is,
35-28 type of game.
well, yeah, what I will say is, if you have either quarterback today, start them because you're gonna get the point. You're gonna 100% get the point.
Yeah, because that's gonna have a lot of time today.
Yeah, you because Atlanta ain't got no pass rush.
Oh yes.
So you
Oh,
start them. Start Dak, start Kurt because they gonna shoot out today.
He gonna be just sitting there like meet me back.
Giddity.
And oh, there you go. And then he gonna throw it.
I hope it's not that easy to today. Because if it is, we're gonna see the best Cowboys offense we've ever seen today.
Listen,
They better blitz him somehow or something.
they're gonna have to.
So Fantasy 101 is about finding guys that are matchup.
Yep.
I would just like to say, and I would just like to stand up on the table for 3 players today. The first player is a guy who this is his first year with his team. He plays in the division that is the toughest division. Well, one of the toughest divisions in football, we'll say, because there's another division that's making a claim for that this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he is 6'4", 270 pounds.
Cedric Tillman.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to understand that Derrick Henry in this Ravens offense is a must start or
Absolutely, every time.
must touchdown every week.
Yep.
Even if he don't score a week or two, he might bounce back another week with 2. That is a tough guy not to start. He's matchup proof. It just is what it is. My second guy I'm saying, he resides in the same division. He's a little smaller in stature, but his play makes up for it. He wears the number 1 because he's the number 1 receiver in this game today.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh.
His name is Odell Landry, aka Jamar Chase.
Don't do
He is
that.
matchup proof. You can start him every week.
Here we go.
There is no DB out there that got an answer for him. No answer for Jamar. The third guy that I'm going to name is actually the guy that we talked about on the injury report, and that was Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson is a very good start because if they get anywhere near that goal line, he's a threat to score.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 3 matchup proof players, and all of those players. Derrick Henry is the only player in the NFL I think this year that has a touchdown in every game. Just want to let you guys know, he's the only player that has a touchdown in every game, at least one. Jamar has I think 1 or 2 games he doesn't, and so does Brian. You got to understand the way that the Ravens play football. He might score every game this season.
You just might.
It just is what it is. Just views. We missed National Tight Ends Week, y'all.
We did, and they showed out last week. They showed out last week. Every last one of them that I saw showed out last week. Shout out to the tight end.
We missed Tight Ends Week, so that was that. This week they saying it might be running back week. So for my fantasy people, look into your running backs. Might be a good week for some running backs. J.K. Dobbins is a very good start against Cleveland. Nick Chubb is going to be a good play against the Chargers too.
Oh,
because Nick Chubb is starting to look like himself a little
bit. But are the Browns going to run the ball?
Well, they're getting their players back. We're going to see.
Okay.
We should get some. We should get a good ground.
I know one thing. 30 for 30 gonna air that. I was gonna air that thing out. I'll tell you that.
Yes, yeah, he will.
And shouts out to Shouts out to Sebastian, Mr. Eat the W himself.
No matter who catch it, he gonna throw it.
Listen, he would listen. What he say? He said 30 touchdowns is balling. It's balling. He said, "How many people can throw for 30 touchdowns?" I don't know, not a lot of them, but I was balling. Numbers is there. I was balling. I said, Jane, J Mo, eat that W, man. Eat that W.
Shout out 30 for 30.
Shouts out to him. Shouts out to the humility too, is also getting another opportunity to start now with
Absolutely.
Deshaun's, tragic injury. Shouts out to Deshaun. Hope he gets healthy. Hope he's able to play again.
Probably won't be with the Browns.
But without further ado, let's pick a few.
Well, let's do it.
Cowboys traveling to the Falcons. Over under on the game we have is 52, which I like that. I like that 52.
Because that's legit.
Over under 52. That giving the Falcons 3 points at home. Obviously, I like the money line for the Cowboys today. Because this is a game they could win. Very much so. And the weakness of Atlanta is the pass rush. The weakness of the Cowboys has been the offensive line. So weakness plus weakness equals suspense and greatness. Yay! So
you must be stopped.
Diabolical time. That's the time. But those are the things that we see. Like, so when we say weakness on weakness, like if they can't get pressure and they don't give up sacks, it means Dak has time to be the quarterback that we say he should be, right? So we should get 350 and 4 tutties today, right? I'm hoping that they go crazy. Jaquan, what are you looking forward to in this matchup?
I think Atlanta's going to win. Only because the Cowboys defense is severely beat up and banged up, and Kirk about to have the game of his life. And you can run the ball on the Cowboys too, so that's going to be ooey. So yeah, give me the Falcons, and I expect Kirk to have another 4 touchdown game because he had one last week. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Okay. I'm rolling with the Falcons as well. I just think that they're one of the 4 best teams in football. I know they don't have a pass rush, but I think you can scheme pressure.
They
have been. They have been, actually.
I think you can scheme pressure and find ways to get pressure. But then you built your secondary to be able to make plays on the football. That's why you brought in guys like Justin Simmons. That's why you brought in guys like Jesse Bates. That's why you draft, AJ Terrell. And they're earning their money. Give me the Falcons. Tanya?
Yeah, give me the Falcons. I did pick the Falcons to win the NFC South. And I feel like today, a lot of people down here don't realize, well, a lot of people outside of down here don't realize how much the Falcons and the Cowboys hate each other. Like they're like outside division rivals. Everybody has a team outside of their division that they absolutely hate. And for the Falcons, it's definitely the Cowboys. So give me Atlanta. I'm picking Atlanta to win.
Next game that we're going to discuss. We got Denver at 5-3. Going to Baltimore to play the Ravens 5-3. Over under 46.5. We have Baltimore as a 9-point favorite at home.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, this is interesting because the first thing that I think about in this game is Sean Payton is not scared to run the ball.
Mm-mm.
And this team last few weeks has been running the ball.
And you can run on the Ravens. We've been saying that for years.
And you can run on the Ravens, but not only just that, this matchup is like a styles clash of strength and strength. Who's going to do better at containing the one? Who's going to do better at containing the other team's run? Go ahead, Jaquan.
You can talk with me. All right, so the division hated me once the Ravens lose this game, so we can stay up on top of the division even on our bye week. I just don't know if the Broncos is going to be able to stop Derrick Henry. They have a good defense, it's top 5 defense. And I also don't know what Bo Nix will do, even though the Ravens defense is not the Ravens defense of the past. But one thing about playing like teams like the Ravens and Steelers and stuff like that who have veteran coaches, they do very well against rookie quarterback. And try to confuse them and scheme up stuff. So I'm going with the Ravens. But I think it's gonna be a close game. I don't know if it's gonna be no 9-point swing though.
Tanya?
You have one of the top 3 offenses going against one of the top 3 defenses. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be close. I really don't think, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to pick the Ravens, but I think Justin Tucker wins this game. I'm picking them by 3. I don't see 9 points. Yeah. I don't see the 9 point. Like, I don't see it. But my concern, now Denver, listen to me. Get your ass up here to Baltimore and act like you forgot how to play football.
Okay.
Bo Nix, you've been playing football for 30 years. You are 45 years old. Don't get up here and act like a rookie today. Okay.
He is a rookie.
And the football. If they
don't get up here and act like you're not seasoned. You played in the SEC.
Sucking on that play action. Listen. Because Roquan is not playing his best football this year. He doesn't have that help on the side like he had last season.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Bo, let me talk to you.
Run and play action. They have a chance, but you got to stop them too.
Bo, let me tell you something. You played in the SEC for 12 years. Okay. Don't get up here and act like you don't know how to play. Don't get up here and act like you don't know how to play football. Okay. I need you to come out here and keep your head together. Cannot quarterbacks across the NFL. Let me tell you something. It's okay to throw the ball away.
That too.
Okay. Some sacks, yeah, okay. You gotta they just happen. Some interceptions, they just happen. They get tipped, they bounce off somebody, whatever. The receiver slip, whatever. But it's okay to throw the ball away. I promise it is. Okay. That's just for everybody. But give me the Ravens by 3.
And this portion of the show is sponsored by Geico.
Not Geico.
But with everything being said, I completely agree with you. Throwing the football away is a part of the game. Mm-hmm. So if we utilize a part of the game as what it is, which it is a part of the game, it saves us on a lot of things. It saves turnovers. It makes the other team have to play. It makes the other team have to score. It makes them have to complete drives. It gives you a chance to get a turnover.
It saves the clock.
But see, it's a lot of things that happen when you protect your assets.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh.
So we just got to make sure that that's what this is about, protecting assets. Okay? Okay, pumpkin. Protect the pumpkin. In this case, the pigskin.
Not protect the pumpkin.
The 9-point spread is something that I personally don't like. 9-point spreads. because in sports it is hard to beat somebody by double digits, especially in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Like 10 points is like diabolical. And in this NFL where the quarterbacks are not the same, give me give me the Broncos with the points. But I'm gonna overall take the Ravens to win the game. I think they win by 6. I think a nice 6-point spread is beautiful, maybe even 7. Touchdown differential. Um, Give me the Ravens 25, this team 17, 18. 18 for good measure. Let's see. We're gonna go to the Lions and the Packers.
Oh,
Oh, you just jumped right in there. Okay, come on.
Yeah, because
it's
I don't
not-
really think I think the rest of these games kind of set up for next week. Next week we got another week because next week we might have to do a show leading up to Thursday night football because with this week closing, Cincinnati and Baltimore are Thursday night's matchup next week. So
Mm-hmm.
next week on Thursday night football, as the drama continues, what we
In the
get
AFC North.
is the AFC North battle, but we get a battle of two teams like in a situation where if Baltimore wins today, that's great. But if they lose next week, that makes them 1-2 in the division.
Mm-hmm.
And they still haven't played the Steelers yet.
You see the smile on my face?
Yeah, I see. And then for Cincinnati, if you win this game today and you win on Thursday, that puts you at 500, meaning we're going into a stretch run now where you need to now win 70% of your games to make the postseason. Remember, 11 and 7 will get you in 11 and 6 will get you in the playoffs. 10 and 7 will get you in the playoffs.
Well, they should have won the first matchup, but the kicker,
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that. Mhm.
We just,
well, Anywho,
but more importantly, Baltimore in general, you control your own destiny. And that's what it comes down to when it comes down to this situation. You sweep the Bengals, that helps you out a lot because now it's a split with the Browns and Steelers, puts you in a driver's seat to maybe try to get the division from the Steelers. So
I ain't
let's see what
splitting
happens.
that.
So, with that being said, we're going to dive into this game for the game of the week. We got the Packers hosting the Lions. This is the first of the 2 matchups for the year. We got Mr. Love and Mr. Golf. MVP conversation, Mr. Golf.
yes,
Mm-hmm. As he should be.
Um,
they had more touchdowns and incompletions the last 5 games.
Insane. They averaging 40 points a game, bro.
40. So let's put that into perspective, right? 40 points a game is equivalent to say they score 10 points a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
If you on average only get 2 to 3 possessions a quarter, that means you're scoring on 60% of your possessions a quarter,
Mm-hmm.
which is more than 60. It's like 66%, but you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That also puts you in a situation of saying that you're scoring about 70% of your drives in a game. That's diabolical.
Crazy. This is crazy.
That's insane. That's equivalent to saying you pretty much know we're gonna score 40, so just get ready.
So you're gonna have to ask for us.
Can you keep up?
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, though, we got I'm just a love machine.
Don't do my boy like that.
And see, the thing about Jordan Love is he's not scared to score points.
Nope.
He ain't scared to throw the ball.
Mm-mm.
Now, sometimes do Mr. Love put it in the bad places? Absolutely. But that's what makes him Mr. Love. That's Buddy Love. He like to spread love around. He like Mary Jane.
No.
He like to spread his love around. And that's what he
Okay,
does
guys,
to
we'll see
those
y'all next
all
week.
those young. Hmm?
Nothing. Go ahead.
That's what he likes to do to those receivers that he has.
He do, because you have no idea who's gonna score.
Including the tight end.
You can count on Kraft though, but you can never just pick out which one of the receivers is gonna score.
I mean, you can count on Kraft because Kraft is a cheese that everybody counts on when they put on.
Oh
my God!
But anyway,
out of town.
But with that being said, Kraft leads this team in touchdowns with 5.
Mm-hmm.
Put that into perspective. And then the next closest person is with 4, and that's Jaden Reed. Then after that, you got Jacobs. I think he has 3.
I think it's Wicks.
It might be Wicks and Jacobs with 3. My point being, they spread the ball around. Watson has 3. These folks are catching.
Wicks is the one with 4.
Wicks has 4.
Reed has 3.
Mm-hmm.
Dobbs and Watson have 2. Jacobs and Wilson have 1.
That's distribution.
That's even.
Distribution.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, and with that being a big key thing here, looking for this matchup today, you don't know who's going to score for them. But on the other side of the ball, you know Montgomery and Gibbs are going to be a part of this diet.
Mm-hmm.
You know that. You know that Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be there to move the chains.
Yep.
You know that Raymond is going to be there to stretch the field.
Yep.
You know what this offense is, and they're still missing arguably their best playmaker on the outside.
He's out.
Tim Patrick. Like, that is crazy.
Yep.
And there's still a threat everywhere on the field. So, with that being said, I mean, Tanya, I'm going to go to you first.
Oh, why would you do that? Oh.
What matchup today do you think is the most important?
This is y'all okay. So I honestly want to see, because y'all know I love both teams, right? Y'all know how I feel about Green Bay and Jordan Love and Jacobs, McKinney, all of them, and then y'all know I love the line. I want to see who they're going to. I want to see who they're going to try to take away. Like, I want to see who the Green Bay is going to try to take away, because it's really hard. It's going to be really hard for them to stop everybody. When you have a team where your quarterback don't even throw for 100 yards and you still have 52 points, that's insane. That's ridiculous. Them had 88 yards last week, and they scored 52 points. So I want to see I really want to see the matchup as far as who they're going to put Xavier McKinney on. Because then you're going to have to cover everybody up.
You got a prediction?
I'm picking Detroit. I'm picking Detroit only because, as much as I love Jordan Love, he's playing injured. So I don't feel like he's gonna play. I mean, he's gonna play well, I think, but I don't think he's gonna play like he could or like he normally does, because he's still playing injured. So,
Jaquan?
So let me tell you why I struggle with this game. One, yes, the Lions are playing good and everything else, the stuff is great, but Jared Goff does not play that well in outdoor weather. And it's going to be raining today in Lambeau, and it's going to be a little chilly. It's going to be like 50, 49-ish squares. The Packers defense, though, they're pretty good at taking away the middle of the field, getting takeaways, sending different blitzes and everything like that. And it's a divisional game. I'm going with the Lions, though. I think this is going to be the first game they don't score 40 points. So I'm saying maybe a 28-24 kind of game or something like that.
So over under is 48,
That's doable.
and they're giving the Lions 2.5 on the road.
That seems realistic.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm rolling with the Packers today, but not because I want the Lions to lose or anything like that. I just think the Packers need this game more. The Packers need this game because by winning this game today, that puts you in the driver's seat to be right there in a division race with them. But also, what it does is it makes up for that loss you had to the Vikings earlier in the year that you shouldn't have lost. You gotta win one against this Lions team, and I think it's best that we do it at home. So give me the Packers today. I think we get a 31-28 game. So I do agree. I don't think they scored 30 today, but I think that they do put a lot of pressure on them with scoring 4 touchdowns. And give me 28 points for the Lions today. So give me 31-28 Packers. Um, I just I just think it's about need. And I really think that they need this game.
And let
Real-
me say this.
Mhm.
I in my personal opinion, I am picking the Lions, but in my personal opinion, I really, really feel like they are the Lions to me, as of right now, which is we probably not been said in 50 years or more. The Lions to me are the best team in football right now. My personal opinion. So, I know other people might disagree, but that's my personal. I feel that so deeply in my spirit. I
So
don't think
real
they're going
quick
to
to
beat it,
wrap up,
but
to give another perspective, you got the Bears playing the Cardinals today, and then
that's
you
gonna be a
got
good
the
game.
Vikings hosting the Colts today. And those two games are going on, and both of those teams are also winning, have winning records. So we're
Mm-hmm.
not talking about a situation where the division, like the Bears, could very well be 5-3 today, along
Mm-hmm.
with the Vikings
Insane.
being 6-2, and then the Packers being 6-3 or 6-7-2, and the Lions being 6-2. Like
And we're not going to
this,
even mention that the Cardinals are leading the NFC West right
That's insane.
now. That's crazy. Crazy.
calamari out there, calamari.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, after this week, we next week we may have to do a longer show because I believe next week we're going to be talking about matchups that are going to be huge in 3 weeks
mm-hmm.
because we're not talking about a week where this week alone, if these teams win, if the Bears win and the Vikings win, the loser of the Packers game, wow, the loser of the Lions and Packers game could very well end up being second or third in the division.
Mm-hmm.
But the Packers beat the Lions. The Packers beat the number one seed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you see why it's more important for the Packers than it is the Lions. And the Lions at worst will fall to number 2 in their division and the number 2 overall team, honestly, in the conference. But they will fall to what the number 5 seed if the
Mm-hmm.
playoff started today.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But do it matter if you get to play a playoff game when you can play like the Lions play?
No, you just got to get in.
gets the NFC because who they in there like who gonna check me, boo? That's how they feeling.
Right.
Think about this. They'll play Tampa Bay or somebody I think they'll play Tampa Bay.
Boy, that's going to be a murder. Um,
Or they're gonna play or they're gonna play Calamari in
another murder.
them. The Eagles will be the number 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And this is by default. So we're saying the Eagles are the number 2 seed by default. And these two teams that we just named that are the leaders of their division would be above the Lions or the Packers or the Vikings.
which is crazy.
What's crazy is all four of those teams might make the playoffs though.
Every last one of them, I think.
So, final thoughts. Any final thoughts, Jaquan?
No, I don't have any final thoughts.
I
Ty,
do.
any final thoughts?
Shout out to Russell Wilson.
Sierra husband.
Russell,
Shouts out to Sierra husband. Okay.
Russell, I am proud of you, Russell. I am proud of you. We ain't scored 30 points in 40 years. But Russell, shout out to Russell Wilson. No, because I want to shout out also Mike Tomlin because that's a hard decision to make in week 5. That's a hard decision to make. And he made it. But I also am glad that we're starting to use Washington, whatever his first name is, Washington. Because we've been having him for a minute and he just been sitting there looking like a big lump on the lawn.
Okay. With that being said, take today, enjoy the games, enjoy every second that your team, if you're one of these other teams that's winning, because let me tell you something, it's that time of the year, the weather outside gets frightful, and so does some of y'all teams play. It's not delightful.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
we'll
know,
see y'all next week. Because
yeah.
With that being said, that's Jay Queasy, First Lady in the background, True Man False World, scene reporting live. Deuces. See you next week.
See you next year.